Okay, good evening, guys. How are you doing today? Good evening, online. Good evening. Okay, so let's jump on. What did we discuss in our last class? Huh? Cluster. Okay, cluster networking instances, security groups, and ACLs. Ready for shootout? Okay, so what is cluster? Group of EC2 instances. And what is that group called? Placement group. What is that group called? Placement group. And how many types of placement groups are there? 3 types. What are those? Cluster placement group, spread placement group, partition placement group. So cluster placement group meaning grouping the EC2 instances within the same availability zone, same rack. That is called cluster. So you have a good high availability there in cluster? No. But do you have any high performance? You will get a high performance. And for spread placement group, your EC2 instances are spread across availability zones. You have a good high availability? Yes. But but performance is not up to mark, but it's very good. So if you have any critical applications, which placement group would you suggest? Spread only. So, but in one availability zone, how many EC2 instances you can have on spread? 7. So if you need more, then go for partition placement group. And in the group, it is recommended to have the same instance type or different instance type. Same instance types. Okay. And then how do you secure your EC2 instance? Using security groups. What is security group? It's act like a firewall and it'll secure the EC2 instance. Okay. And security group stops unauthorized access to the EC2 instance. You can say this also. Or security group is used to secure the EC2 instance. You can say also security group acts like a firewall to the EC2 instance. Also, you can say that. So basically, how many rules are there? 2 types. What are those? Inbound rules, outbound rules. Inbound rules, outbound rules. So by default, inbound rules are deny. Outbound rules are allowed. So in security group, we can only allow the protocols. Is it possible to deny the protocols? If you want to deny, what you need to do? Remove or delete the rule. If you want to connect to the Linux EC2 instance, what protocol that I need to inbound? SSH, port number 22. So if I want to access Windows, RDP, port number 3389. If I want to access application, yeah, very good. Okay. And so can we create multiple security groups? Yes. So for one security group can be attached to multiple EC2 instances? Yes. And one EC2 instance can have multiple security groups attached? Who said? No. So one EC2 instance can have multiple security groups. Okay, possible. So what is the security group that we should be using it? Default security. Which one? Default security group. So can we create our new security groups also? Yes, we can create, but not now. Once we are comfortable with, we can go and create it. And then by I created a brand new security group. Do we have any inbound rules for that? No. So inbound rules are deny and outbound rules are allow. So security groups are stateful or stateless? Stateful. Which are stateless? NACL. Okay, in security group, if you allow any inbound rules, you need to allow that on outbound rules? No. But you need to allow that in outbound rules in where? NACLs. What is the full form of NACL? Network Access Control List. So this also has inbound rules and outbound rules. Do we have a default NACL also? For the default NACL, inbound rules and outbound rules are allowed. But when you create a new NACL, inbound rules and outbound rules are deny. Very good. Which one will hit first? NACL after is security group. And security group is which level? EC2 instance level. And NACL are which level? Subnet level. So one subnet, do you remember what is subnet? Subnet is a isolated network in the, yeah. So, and also one subnet is associated to one availability zone. One subnet can be associated to multiple availability zones? No. But one availability zone can have multiple subnets? Yes. Similarly, one subnet is associated to one NACL. But one subnet can be associated to multiple NACLs at the same time? No. But one NACL can have multiple subnets? Yes. So if I allow in security group, but if I deny in NACL, will it be denied or allowed? It will be denied. Super. Very good, Nana. So this is what we have discussed in our last class. So let us move to today's topic. Online, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay, so let us talk today the topic about auto scaling. Which one? We already know about auto scaling, but let us do a deep dive on it. Okay, so generally what is auto scaling? Scale out, scale in. So our auto scaling can scale out and scaling what? EC2 instances based on the load. So based on the load, automatically scale out will happen, automatically scale in will happen. That is called auto scaling. But generally, what is auto scaling? We'll go deeper now. So auto scaling, I'll say scale out and scale in what? EC2 instances based on the load. Scale out meaning adding or removing a. Scale in meaning removing. So whenever there is a demand on traffic, auto scaling automatically scale out and scaling the EC2 instance. Agree? Whenever there is a demand on traffic, auto scaling group will scale out and scale in EC2 and EC2 instances automatically. So this is called auto scaling. So let me draw the diagram for that. What is this? Very good. This is the EC2 instance, and we have application inside it. So like this, I'll be having multiple EC2 instances. How many instances are there at the moment? 4. Each EC2 instance has the application inside it. Same or different application? Same. Very good. And also the EC2 instances should be same type or different type? Very good, Nana. Same type. So assume that you have the infrastructure with only 4 EC2 instances running. So having 4 GB RAM each. How much GB RAM? You can have how much ever you want, but at the moment, 4 GB RAM. So all EC2 instances have the same instance type or different instance type? Same instance type. So assume that we have our application running with 4 EC2 instances, but on Friday, on Saturday, we expect like Amazon sale or Black Friday or whatever it is, So these 4 EC2 instances will be sufficient? No. So automatically scale out will happen or not? So we need to increase the number of servers or we need to increase the capacity of the server? Increase the number of servers. Increase the number of servers. Increasing the capacity of the server is called what? Scalability. In the runtime, is it possible to do the scalability? No. For that reason, here we need to increase the number of EC2 instances. And increasing the number of EC2 instances, we call it as scale out. Right? Okay, so here automatically oops, okay, gone. So EC2 instances will be up. So we have EC2 here and application automatically scale out. So can I say that this is auto scaling group? No. This is auto scaling group. In shortcut, I call it as ASG. What is that? ASG. So scale out will happen automatically. Scale in will happen. Scale out and scale out. Scale out and scale out. Nice. Okay, load balancer. Who is doing monitoring here? Load balancer. Load balance is doing monitoring for application or for EC2 instance? Application. Very good. So using what? Using? Excellent. Using what? Health checks. And what's the status code that you expect? 200. What is the status code? 200. Very good, Nana. So ELB does the health checks to the application. But who will do the monitoring for your EC2 instance? Which service? Which service is used for monitoring purpose? Cloud Watch. Very good. So here I call it as ELB does the health checks for the application and CloudWatch monitor EC2 instances. Very good. Getting it now? Okay, so now I'm giving one real-time example. Assume we are setting up the application now. Customer said to you that, hey, this is the application, please put it. So what you did is you went and set up load balancer. And then if you want to set up application, how many EC2 instances that you need? Let's say, for example, give me one number. How many EC2 instances initially that you need? Huh? 10. Okay, so based on what you said 10 or based on what you said 4, based on what on you said 6, it is our wish, yes or no? How many audience are there? How much traffic that we are expecting? Those many EC2 instances that we need to have initially. If you want to set up an application, you need to have machines. No, you want one. Is it good to have one? No, because there is no high availability. No. So minimum you need to have how many? 2. Minimum 2. Maximum you can have how much ever you want. But initially, how much you need? Initially 2, or you can say 4. Can we say 4? Now we want to set up your application. How many machines that you need? Initially 4. Initially what I said? 4. That meaning 4 EC2 instances is enough for, let's say, 20 employees or 20 customers or 20 people. So how many EC2 instances that you have now at the moment? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nana, why 4? Because it's your wish or not? These are all your wish or not, guys? How many EC2 instances are there at the moment? 4. So that is your desire or not? I call it as desire capacity. What is this called? How much is desire capacity? 4. You understood what is desire capacity? Desire capacity meaning how many EC2 instances that you want to launch initially. It's your wish or your desire to launch. So that is depend upon how many people are connecting to your application. How many people are connected to your application? So desire capacity, how much? 4. Okay. In your auto scaling group, what is the desired capacity here? 4. Minimum, how much you need? Minimum, any point of time, minimum should be 2. Okay, in your group, what would be maximum? Give me some number. 10, na? So maximum is 10. That meaning, whenever auto scaling group want to scale out, maximum how many EC2 instances will it scale out? 10. Will it scale out 11? That is maximum. Okay. Now, how many EC2 instances are there? 4 are there. That is your desired capacity. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, scale out happen. Now, tell me how many EC2 instances? How many are there? Okay. Now, scale out has happened. How many are there total now? How many are there? 5. Now, Nana, 10 is too much. As I don't have space here, I'll put 6. Can I put 6 also? Because of no space. Okay. How many are there now? 5. Now scale out has happened. How many are there now? 6. Scale out has happened. Is it possible to have this? Is it possible to have this, Nana? Not possible, because in that group we have reached maximum 6. If I put 10, I cannot keep on putting the EC2 instance there. For that reason, I put 6. Is it mandatory to put 6 or 10? No, it's up to you. How much ever traffic that you are getting it, you can put that maximum number here. Okay, now there is no traffic, Nana. There is no traffic. Scale-in will happen or not? Scale-in happen. How many machines are there? How many are there now? 5. Now? Now? Is it possible this? That is called minimum. So in your group, minimum should be at any point of time, how many machines should be running? 2. That is minimum. Can you put minimum 20 also? Yes. 20 should be mandatory running. So minimum and maximum are boundaries. What is that? Minimum and maximum are boundaries. Desired capacity meaning initially how many machines that you want, you can launch those machines. Got this now? So here we have mainly 3 things. What are those? Minimum, maximum, desired capacity. Say that. Online guys, please put it in the chat. What are those? Minimum, maximum, desired capacity. Minimum meaning the how many, like the minimum number of EC2 instances that auto scaling group should have. How much? 2. Mandatory? It's up to you. It can be 2 also, it can be 4 also, it can be 10 also. And maximum meaning the maximum number of EC2 instances that auto scaling group should have. How much? 6. Desired capacity meaning how many EC2 instances that you need to launch initially. That is desired capacity. Understood, none of these 3 topics? So minimum, maximum, desired capacity. Minimum, maximum, desired capacity. So the minimum number of EC2 instances that auto scaling group should have. Example, minimum how much? 2. So minimum is up to you, okay? Here also, the maximum number of EC2 that, so here I put how much? 6. And here, the number of EC2 instances that you wish or desire to launch initially. That is called your desired capacity. How much here I said? DC? Huh? 4. So these values are not mandatory. It's based on your requirement. Online, is this clear? Minimum, maximum, desired capacities. So can I say minimum and maximum both are boundaries? These both are. These both are boundaries. Okay, Nana? And now, So we have three types of scaling options. How many types of scaling options are there? Mainly three types. Number one, next topic I'm saying. Okay, there are three types of scaling policies. What is that? Three types of scaling policies. Number one, manual scaling. Say that. Manual scaling. Number two, auto scaling. No. Schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. Say that what are the three? We have manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. There are three types of scaling options we have. So we can use any of this. So basically three types of scaling options. What are those? Manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. Manual scaling meaning, Nana, here desired capacity, how much I have given here? 4. If I go and edit and put it 5, what will happen? One more EC2 instance will launch. Yes or no? So that is manually you are scaling out. You're manually scaling it. So that is called manual scaling. Schedule scaling meaning, let's say next Friday, we have Black Friday sale, or we are getting Sankranti sale, or February 14, Valentine's sale, right? So we have, so on that day, these 4 or 5 or 6 EC2 instances are sufficient? No. What we can do is we can schedule scaling on that day. We can say that Babu minimum should be 20, maximum should be 100, desired capacity should be 40. Because everyone will go and purchase the gifts, no? Right? So for that reason, you have a huge traffic. So at that, generally you will not have this much amount of EC2 instances, but only on that day, you can schedule it. That is called schedule scaling. And about dynamic scaling meaning, it is not about particular time or it is not about manual. If there is we need to say to the auto scaling group, hey Babu, auto scaling group, maintain the average CPU utilization as, let's say 70%. In dynamic scaling, we will say, hey auto scaling group, maintain the group average CPU utilization should be 70%. If the average CPU utilization is going 70%, more than 70%, what will happen? Scale out will happen. If it is going less than 70%, scale in will happen. That will be done automatically by auto scaling group. That is called dynamic scaling. That is called what? Dynamic scaling. So you tell me which one is better, first or second or third? Third one is better, no? So in certification also, so if they ask which one is recommended, then go for dynamic scaling. Dynamic scaling, we no need to worry. Any point of time, whenever huge traffic comes up, automatic scale out will happen. When there is no traffic, scaling will happen. So what are the three scaling policies that we have? Manual scaling. Three types of scaling options. Number one, manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. Manual scaling meaning if you are manually modifying DC. Schedule scaling meaning based on the day or time period. Dynamic scaling meaning so based on the load. Based on the load. Like can we use CPU utilization, network utilization, etc.? Yes or no? What are all these called, Nana? Metrics. What are all these called? CPU is a metric. So memory is a metric. Network is a metric. Using that metric, you can tell auto scaling group to do the action. So these generally metrics we will see in which service? CloudWatch. This metric concept you will see it in where, Nana? CloudWatch. Actually, CloudWatch will help auto scaling group to do the scale out and scaling in the backend. Okay, now I'm asking one question for you. See, initially, how many EC2 instances are there here? 4. Initially, how many are there? 4. Scale out has happened. Scale out has happened. Scale out has happened meaning one EC2 instance has launched. One EC2 instance has launched. Does that contain automatically our application or not? Yes or no? How does the auto scaling group will put the application inside the EC2 instance? Huh? Huh? Excellent, Babu. Which one? Image concept here we need to use. Which one? Image. Super. Very fantastic actually. Image meaning nothing but AMI. Yes or no? How many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 steps are there, no? If we are there, we'll go and click all these things and we launch the EC2 instance. But who will need to launch an EC2 instance here? Auto scaling group need to launch an EC2 instance. How does the auto scaling group knows what kind of configurations that you need to launch an EC2 instance? If we are there, we will launch EC2 instance. Who need to launch EC2 instance here? Auto scaling group need to launch. No, how does the auto scaling group knows how to launch EC2 instance? What kind of configuration that it should have? We need to give the configuration, and that concept we call it as launch configuration. Which one? Launch configuration, or you can say launch template. What's that? Launch template. So I recommend you to use launch template, not to use launch configuration. Launch configuration is a old name. The latest name is launch template. Template is nothing but that all 7 steps is there. No, you will be creating as a template. And we'll tell auto scaling, hey, auto scaling group, use this launch template and launch EC2 instance. In that launch template, all those 7 steps are there. How does your EC2 instance will have application inside it? Nana, when you're launching the EC2 instance, we need to select an image or not? Can we create our own image? What is that image called? Custom AMI. Which one? Custom AMI. In that custom AMI, can I have our own application? And when in that launch template, can I give that custom AMI details so that that AMI contains already my application? And when auto scaling group launch an EC2 instance using this launch template, that EC2 instance will contain our application or not? So your application will be inside your AMI. Got it? Got it? No? So that is called here launch template or launch configuration. What is that? Launch template or launch configuration. LC or LT. Launch template LT contains the 7 steps. You know the 7 steps. Do you know? Yes or no? Do you know the 7 steps? No, right? I was telling since day one, I mean, so many days, how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 steps. 7 adugulu. Right? 7. I said in Telugu, no? What is wrong? Huh? 7 steps to fall in. Okay. So there are 7 steps to launch an EC2. What are those 7 steps? Those are the things that we are learning the entire these days. When we started the EC2, we started all the topics, no? All the topics are used to cover the 7 steps only. Just imagine how much deep we are going. So I will not talk about the 7 steps now. When time comes, I'll reveal those 7 steps. Okay. But here, how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 steps. Like, for example, one of the steps is to select the AMI. One of the step is to select the key pair. One of the step is to select the security group. One of the step is select the instance type. Did we learn about all these things or not? I'm covering that each and every steps now. Without knowing. Huh? Okay. So this launch template contains this 7 step. Inside the 7 step, AMI is also one of the topic or not? In that AMI, we'll have our own application. Inside that, we have our own application. So it contains AMI, which contain application. It contains security group. It contains key pair. It contains instance type, etc., etc. It contains everything. Okay. So auto scaling group will use this launch template and scale out. You understand? But based on that reason, I'm saying EC2 instance contain the application automatic because our launch template contain the application. Clear, na? What is the operating system that we should use to launch for Linux? Which one? Red Hat. Which one? Red Hat. Very good. So auto scaling group is the combination of your load balancer plus EC2 instances plus launch templates. If you want notifications, then SNS. Okay. Auto scaling group will have launch templates attached. And is this clear, everyone? About auto scaling? Online, is this clear? TD online, is this clear, Nana? Okay. So that is the deeper level of auto scaling. Now let's move on to another important topic, which is called elastic load balancer, ELB. We already know about ELB, what it does, but what we do? Deeper level. Okay. So generally, what is load balancer? Generally, I'm not asking about elastic load balancer, generally load balancer, starting basics, which distribute the traffic to the multiple servers. What is this load balancer called in excuse me, in AWS? ELB. What is full form of ELB? Elastic load balancer. What is the definition of elastic load balancer? Which distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. Fantastic. Very nice. Yes or no? Okay. So ELB is completely managed by AWS. ELB is a service, server, service. Can we log into ELB? Can we access ELB? Access. How? Using DNS name. Using what? DNS name. So ELB, which distribute the traffic to okay, okay. Yes. There was an internet issue. Okay. Online, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So ELB is a service by AWS, not a server for us. How do you access the ELB, Nana? ELB can be accessed by URL. What URL is that? DNS name. Can you log into the can you log into the load balancer? You cannot log in to the EL. Okay. So meanwhile, it is getting stuck. Online, is it clear, guys, for you? My voice is okay. Everything is fine. Yeah. So obviously this is load balancer and this is what? EC2 instance. In this is EC2 and we need to put a sample application, correct? So instead of that, can I put sample application called index.html? So like this, I can have multiple EC2 instances. This is ELB. Okay. Can I have this in 1A? This one in 1B, this one in 1C. If required, can I have auto scaling on top of it? If required, yes, I can have. No. And how does it do the monitoring? Using health checks. What is the status code that you're expecting? 200. And whenever you create ELB, AWS will give the DNS name. And that is a good URL or nasty URL. So if you want to do the makeup for the nasty URL, how the nasty URL look like? http:// my ELB dot something, some numbers will be there, dot ELB dot AP minus south minus one dot Amazon AWS.com. It will be like this. Is it good to give this URL to customer? No. If you want to do the makeup, which service? Huh? Why you have a break? Route 53. So if you want to give like nice name like http:// boom.com, then go and create a record. What is Route 53? It's a DNS service from AWS, correct? So there you need to create records. So you can create a record called boom.com is equal to this nasty URL. If someone hit boom.com, it will go to our nasty URL. Okay. So as load balancer is a service from AWS, does the load balancer has IP address? I'm asking the question. As it is a service from AWS, does the load balancer has IP address? Yes or no? It is a service no from AWS. If it is service, does it has load balancer for us? That is that IP address for us? No. For load balancer, it doesn't have the IP address because AWS said to us, how do you access the load balancer? Using DNS name, na? Using the DNS name. Does the AWS said to us to access the load balancer using the IP address? No, it is through the DNS name. So does the load balancer has IP address? No. Load balancer doesn't have the IP address. And we need to access the load balancer using the DNS name. Actually, it is a service for us, but load balancer also a server, no, in the backend. No, yes or no, Chiti? Huh? Load balancer, for us, it is a service, but actually, technically, load balancer is a server in AWS or not? Server is nothing, but it is one server or multiple servers? Multiple servers. Yes or no? So load balancer is nothing, but for us, it is a service, but backend, it is number of EC2 instances. Load balancer is completely managed by AWS. Do you need to worry about the performance of load balancer? Do you need to worry about the elasticity of load balancer? Do you need to worry about the auto scaling of load balancer? No, everything is completely managed by AWS. But in the backend, it has the EC2 instance. But do you need to worry? No. That meaning load balancer, AWS is telling, hey, Babu, use the DNS name of the load balancer, not the IP address. But few customers are there, nasty customers. What they will ask is, Nana, in their company, in the customer's company, they will also have the firewall for the network or not? Every company will have the firewall. And those customer will ask, hey, Babu, give me the IP address of your website. Give me the IP address of the website. Give me the IP address of the website. IP address of website meaning, Nana, see here, This is my website. In my EC2 instance, it has. Everyone will be connected to our EC2 instance or load balancer. Everyone will be connected to our load balancer or directly EC2 instance. Load balancer, no. So indirectly, customer is asking to give the IP address of the load balancer. Yes or no? We have our website called boom.com. We are having in our AWS with load balancer. One of the customers said, hey, Babu, give me the IP address of your boom.com. Will you give the IP address of EC2 instance? EC2 instance should be public or private? Private. Which one will be public? Load balancer will be the public. So indirectly is asking to give the IP address of the load balancer. Is it possible to give the IP address of the load balancer? Does the load balancer has the IP address? No. But customer said that, hey, Babu, I want IP address only. I want IP address only. Then we'll say, Array customer, there is a AWS concept. There is a called load balancer. We don't have the IP address concept. Only DNS name will be there. Boom.com, use it. And customer says, no, I want IP address. I want to put it in my firewall. Then we'll say no. Based on that, if you say no, the business will be lost. Yes or no? Customer will say, Array, what admin, what AWS engineer you are not able to give one IP address of your website. Does the customer knows the load balancer concept? No. What will you do? So he's insisting to give the IP address. But is it possible to give the IP address for us? Not possible. AWS is saying that, hey, Babu, load balancer is a service, not a server. Use the DNS name, not the IP address. Because of this, I also face this in real time. My customer also, asked many times to give the IP address of the load balancer. And I clearly said that, Babu, this is the AWS concept, load balancer concept. I cannot give. And when I'm trying to explain load balancer concept, customer is not at all interested. Is he interested? No. Arey bhai, bhaad mein jao. I don't want all these things. Just give me the IP address. I'm saying I cannot provide the IP address. Customer is saying, can't you provide a single IP address? What engineer you are? So you understand the problem. So finally, the customer said, if you don't give the IP address, I will not work with you. I will not do business with you, with your company. And then my CEO, all CFO, all came to me and said, hey, Riaz, what is this? Do something. Just IP address, no, give it. What are you telling? Is my IP address I'm putting in my pocket or what? CFO, CEO is coming and saying, give the IP address. No. So it is not, technically, I'm not doing anything here. Load balancer is AWS topic. We cannot give the IP address. For that reason, after so much of troubleshooting, I got a command, which is called NSLOOKUP. What's that? So if you go to command prompt, CMD here, and type NSLOOKUP, actually this will get connected to the DNS. And here, if you type boom.com or facebook.com, we don't have boom.com, no? If I type facebook.com, do you see the IP address? Do you see the IP address? Actually, whose IP address is that? Facebook. Facebook, like a server IP address or load balancer IP address? Huh? Load balancer IP address. That meaning in the backend, load balancer has the IP address. Load balancer has a IP address. Using this command, I found the IP address of the boom.com. Then what I did, I happily gave this IP address to the customer. And our website started working. Next day, again, he sent an email saying that the website is not working. When I do here, facebook.com, IP address got changed. You're getting it? IP address got changed. So then I got to know that load balancer has the IP address, but those IP addresses are static or dynamic? Dynamic. Then when I sit alone and I thought about this, load balancer is this. Load balancer is this. That meaning in the backend you have what? EC2 instances, yes or no? In the backend, AWS is handling EC2 instances. Each EC2 instance will have the IP address or not? So do we need to worry about the scale out and scaling of the load balancer? Who will take it? AWS. Whenever the huge load comes, automatically scale out will happen, automatically scaling will happen. That means IP address will change or not? Yes. For that reason, load balancer has the dynamic IPs. Technical. You understand the topic? So then I went to AWS and said, hey, Babu, AWS, I understood your concept, but the customer is very hard, is very cruel. So please give me the IP address. And what he did, for us? AWS, he said, Babu, you need to compromise the load balancer performance, he said, because AWS is giving only the 6 or 7 EC2 instances, standard EC2 instance. It will not scale out, it will not scaling. That means you'll have the static IPs at the time or not. AWS gave those static IPs and I gave to the customer, but load balancer performance will get impacted or not. So for that customer, I have separate load balancer. For the different customers, I have different load balancer. You understand? So I gave my real-time example, but you understand, load balancer is a service, not a server. But for us, it is service. But in the backend, there are servers. But if any customer asks, give me the IP address, is it possible to give the IP address? No. And by the way, should I tell you one thing here? Whose IP address is this? Facebook's what? Facebook's load balancer. Yes or no? If I put the IP address, what is DNS? What is DNS? Which will convert host name to IP, IP to host name. So I have given the host name called facebook.com. I got the IP address. If I give the IP address, it will give the host name or not? It is given this one. But actually facebook.com is facebook.com only, right? But do you see that big one is there? What is that? What is that? Load balancer. That is Facebook load balancer. Technically, can I access Facebook load balancer? No, right? See. If I go and put like this, generally, what is the URL of Facebook? Facebook.com. Other than Facebook.com, if you put something, can Facebook will come? But I'm putting such a big URL. Do you expect Facebook now? No, right? But that is the load balancer of Facebook, correct? See here. You see that? That is Facebook only. Facebook's load balancer. You see how we are tweaking the network in the backend, right? Okay, anyways. Is it clear, Nana? So do you all agree load balancer has IP address? It has IP address, but those are dynamic. Is it possible to get the static IP address? Yes, but don't get the static IP address. For that, AWS came up with another new concept nowadays. We'll talk on that later. Okay. So AWS always recommend to use the DNS name or IP address? DNS name. ELB has the IP address, but those are dynamic. AWS always recommend to use the ELB DNS name, not IP address. No. Hari Prasad, that concept is there. We'll come out on the topic. Don't worry. Nana, is this clear till here, everyone? Okay. Now let's talk about types of elastic load balancer. Types of elastic load balancer. So when I was working initially, there was only one load balancer. There was only one load balancer. I still remember that name. That is called classic load balancer. Which one? Classic load balancer, where we used to call shortcut CLB. What is that? CLB. And this CLB works on HTTP, HTTPS, and TCP protocols. So your classic load balancer works on which protocol? HTTP, HTTPS, and TCP. Say that again. These are all certification questions. HTTP, HTTPS, and TCP. So this is classic load balancer. That was a older load balancer since day one. As the number of requirement got increased, this load balancer could not able to support the new requirements. For that reason, this poor guy has become previous generation load balancer. Previous generation. Previous generation meaning old one. So AWS came up with the new generation load balancers now. And the fantastic load balancer that all the time people will use is application load balancer. What is that? In shortcut? ALB. Which one? ALB. And this guy works on, and this is the latest generation or not? This is the latest generation. And this works on HTTP and HTTPS. Which one, Anna? HTTP and HTTPS. Whenever, if you want to create a load balancer, nowadays, which is the default to choose load balancer? Application load balancer. Maximum 99.99%. If you want to create a load balancer with all kind of any kind of requirement, which load balancer is the default to choose? Application load balancer, remember. So default choose is ALB. Default choose is what, Nana? ALB. So this is best for microservices. Do you know microservices? Microservices meaning now nowadays, have you heard about Docker, Kubernetes, serverless applications, right? So all this thing for DevOps topics, for AI, ML, whichever it is, if they need load balancer, which is the best load balancer suitable for them? Application load balancer. Getting it? So this load balancer is good for all general purpose, for any kind of requirement. But there might be a requirement which they need extreme high performance. Which performance? Extreme high performance. For extreme, extraordinary high performance, super speed, load balancer is good for very good. But if you need extraordinary, extreme high performance speed, then AWS came up with something called network load balancer. What is that? Shortcut? NLB. Which one? NLB. This is also a latest generation. It is also latest generation. And this guy works on TCP and UDP. Which one, Nana? TCP and UDP. And if you want extreme high performance, go for NLB. Go for, and it works on which level? It works on network level. And also it will give this, it provides the load balancer provides the static IPs. Guys, this is the load balancer which provide static IPs. So one static IP per availability zone. So which is the load balancer provides static IPs? NLB. How many static IPs? One static IP per available. So how many in total? 3. Which one? Here it is 3. Yeah, it is L3 level. So yeah. Network level. You're getting it? So what are the load balancers that we have learned here? Classic load balancer, application load balancer, network load balancer. Classic load balancer works on which protocol? HTTP, HTTPS, and TCP. So this is a previous generation. Which is the latest generation now? Application load balancer. Yes, Shauvik. You can use for streaming service, NLB. So application load balancer is the latest generation and works on which protocol? HTTP and HTTPS. Is it best for microservices? Best for all kind of requirements? It's a default choose. Yes. Which one is for extreme high performance? Network load balance is for extreme high performance and works on which protocol? TCP and UDP. Does it provide the static IPs? Yes. Which one? How many? One static IPs per availability zone. So And latestly, AWS came up with something new one, which is called Gateway Load Balancer. Which one, Anna? So this Gateway Load Balancer is a new one. In shortcut, GLB. In shortcut, GLB. So this basically works for security purpose. Let's say if you want to install firewall, and that firewall need a load balancer, no? Gateway load balancer works. And if you want to do some deep packet investigations or any kind of security, third party appliance security related, then go for gateway load balancer, not for applications. Okay. So gateway load balancer, if you want to deploy and manage, scale a fleet of third party network virtual appliances in AWS. For API related, Praveen, you can go with ALB, NLB. That works. If you want to set up firewall, if you want to set up any prevention systems, and if you want to deep packet inspection, etc., then go for GLB. And this guy works on Gateway protocol. What is that, Nana? What is that? On 6081 port number. Which one? Which port? Which protocol? Gateway. What is that? Gateway. Port number 6081. Is it clear till here? Let me ask you questions. So how many types of load balancers are there? How many types of load balancers are there? 4. What are those? Classic load balancer, application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer. In shortcut, you can say yes. CLB, ALB, NLB, GLB. Which one is the default choose? ALB. Works on which protocol? HTTP, HTTPS. It's a default choose. Yes. If you need extreme high performance, NLB. So it works on network layer. What protocol? TCP and UDP level it works. And does it support static IPs? How many? One static IP per available zone. Don't say one. One static IP per available. In total, how many in Mumbai? 3. And if I want to use for a third party network virtual appliances and security related, GLB. Which one? GLB. Works on which protocol? Protocol? Gateway. Protocol? Gateway. Port number? 6081. Clear? So out of this load balancer, which one is the most common choose? Application load balancer. For that purpose, I'll give a little bit even more deeper into it. Okay. So this application load balancer supports something called routing features. What is that, Nana? Routing features. Here we have host-based routing. I'm just path-based routing and string parameter routing. So I'm just using 3. You have even more. So what are the routing features we have? Host-based routing. Say that. Host-based routing, path-based routing, string parameter routing, etc. So string parameter, you know this already. In URL, sometimes have you? It is like let's say developers used to, let's say, like question mark codes is equal to AWS like this. In the URL in the end, you will have this. No, developers knows this concept. So this is called here string parameter routing. This is called string parameter routing. So this kind of, in the load balancer, if you want to use in the end this string parameters also, this load balancer will take up these things. But here, let me talk more about what is host-based routing and path-based routing here. Let me give a real-time example. Let me take one small name. Give me one small name. HTTP. Huh? Eh? Which one? Small name. DJ. PJ. PJ meaning? Pankaja. PJ Krishna. PJK. Okay. Oyo. Not okay. Oyo. Yo, listen. So what is YOLO comma? Okay. So here PJK, pjk.com. Okay. So we have this pjk.com. That meaning obviously we need to have a load balancer or not? We need to have a load balancer, and you have here pjk.com EC2 instance. Yes or no? See, I'm giving you real time. This is ELB. And the other EC2 instance, we should have which application? pjk.com applications should be there inside it. Okay. Okay, Nana. So generally, pjk.com or google.com is there. That is called main domain. What is that called? Google.com is a main domain. Does it have subdomains also? Like maps.google.com, images.google.com, photos.google.com, videos.google.com. Google.com is main domain. But can you have subdomains also? Yes. Like PKG is PKG. What is it? PJK is a PJK is a main domain. It's a main domain. Does it also contain the subdomains? Yeah. Let's say, for example, I'm giving an example here. Okay, web.pjk.com. Can I have like this also? Okay, if I want like this, can you tell me? Can I send, if I want web.pjk.com, can I send to this load balancer? Can I send this to load balancer? Yes or no? No, because do we have web.pjk website here? No, it has only pjk.com, not web.pjk. Both are same or different? Different. So is it possible to put like this? One EC2 instance here. I'll put two more EC2 instance like this. And here I put. Is it possible to put like this? Huh? Not possible. Because there is no redundancy, no? Guys, there is no redundancy. It is not possible to put like this. The load balance should have, all the systems should have a same application. No, it's not possible. So what I need to do for this here, I need to set up one more load balancer for it. Yes or no? One more load balancer for this application. For this application, I need separate for this. Okay. For this only one subdomain, I need to have one more load balancer. And now what if you have 10 more subdomains for pjk.com? 10 load balancer, correct? Is it good to have like that? No, right? That was with the classic load balancer. That was the problem with the classic load balancer. For classic load balancer, so you need to have multiple ELBs with CLB. So for each and every requirement, you need to create a different load balancers. Problem or not? For that reason, AWS came up with which one? Application load balancer. Which one? Application load balancer. Application load balancer. So this is, let us see how this load balancer work. So we have ALB. The beauty of this load balancer is we can create rules here. What we can create? Can you create rules in classic load balancer? No. Here you can create rules. What rules are those? Host-based routing, path-based routing. These are all rules. What is all? These are all rules. Okay, let's say. Now, let us take the first website, http://pjk.com. So that meaning here, I need to have EC2 instance or not? I need to have the EC2 instance here. Yes or no? These are all EC2. EC2, EC2, EC2. But the good thing here is, but good thing here is, we can group them and call it as target group. What is that? Target group. What we can call it is here? Target group. This is called target group. What does the target group contain? Targets. What does the targets meaning here? EC2 instances. Targets nothing but EC2 instances. So I'll create pjk.com, how many machines I need, and I group them. I call it as target group. Can you give me the name of the target group? Can I call it as pjktg? Target group. So whenever someone is coming for pjk.com, whenever someone is coming with pjk.com, it will come to the load balancer. And in load balancer, it will identify it is pjk.com. And what will it do? It will redirect to the target group. It will redirect to the target because we have created a rule. We have created a rule in load balancer. If pjk.com is coming, any request, it will redirect to this target group. This is called host-based routing. What is this called? Based on host-based routing. So it is redirected to pjktg. Yes or no, Nana? Now, what is another website? http://web.pjk.com. For this, can I create a separate target group? Yes or no? Can I create multiple target groups? Yeah. So I'll take to save the time. So I have this, and I can have another target group. And what is the name of the target group? Web-tg. You can give any name. So if anyone is coming web.pjk.com, so automatically load balancer will identify and will redirect to this target group. You can give any name, huh? Target group, you can give any name. Any name is fine. You understand this is called host-based routing. What is that? pjk.com, web.pjk. It is nothing but host names or not? Domain name, host name, everything. If there is any difference, based on the rule, it will get redirected to the target group. And you have also something called path-based routing. What is that? Path-based routing meaning developers. Sometimes you have google.com/something. Sometimes you have that kind of modules or not. You have website /some admin or something will be there. So for that, you can have, that is called path-based routing. Let's say, for example, I have http://pjk.com/admin. Can I have website like this also? Yes. So then for, if anyone is coming like this, it will get redirected to here. And we need to have EC2 instance, no? With what? With /admin. What application I have here? /admin. /admin. And I call this as a target group. And can I create multiple target groups like this? Yes. And I call it as here admin tg. And if anyone is coming with /admin, as I created a rule in my load balancer, automatically load balancer will send to this target group. And this is called what based routing? Path. Because /admin is the path, no? Path based routing. Under same application module, then you can use the module. Yes, correct, Nitish. Yes, you can. Understood, Nana? So based on your, it will get redirected to WebTG here. Okay, here redirected to admin TG. With all topics, how many load balancer? Only one load balancer. With one load balancer, you can achieve all kind of requirements. That is the beauty of application load balancer. In network load balancer also, you can create target groups and all. For all latest generations, you can create a target groups. but not with the CL. Clear? And now tell me here, you have something called listeners. What is that, Nana? So yesterday I told. So load balancer will be listening on what protocols? HTTP or HTTP? Yes. HTTP, yes. That meaning you need to have certificate or not? HTTPS is nothing but certificate. You need to, that is for security purpose, secure purpose. If you want to use HTTPS, you need to purchase certificates. Generally, where do you purchase the certificates? GoDaddy, no? GoDaddy, come mummy. No, only GoDaddy, no come mummy. Only GoDaddy. So we have GoDaddy, which is very famous, where you go and purchase the certificates over there. What certificate? HTTPS certificates. But as you're working in AWS, is it good to go to GoDaddy? No. In AWS itself, there is a service where you can purchase certificates here itself. And that service name is called ACM, Amazon Certificate Manager. What is that? If you want to create or generate certificates, what certificates? HTTPS certificates. Which service is that? Amazon Certificate Manager. Certification question, guys. ACM. What is that? So which is the service where you can create the certificates? ACM. Which is the service is to create access keys, secret keys? I'm asking simple question. Which is a service where you can create access keys, secret keys? IAM. Which is a service where you can create encryption keys? KMS. Which is a service where you can create certificates? ACM. Just list down the service names. IAM, ACM, KMS. Three different, but three looks, it's not same. Three completely different purpose. So I'll write it for you here. Access and secret keys. Where? IAM. And encryption keys. KMS. And certificates. Certificates? SCM. So do not confuse. These are all very important certification questions. Yes, you can use. You can use Hari Prasad. You need to import. Yeah. Is it clear enough? On load balancer, deeper level of load balancers, I'll stop it here. Okay, let's go aram se. No worry. Is it clear online? Any questions? If not, take the screenshots. And the second one? Ravi is asking, ACM used for to create a certificates, HTTPS certificates. And Vijay is asking, what certificate managed by ACM? HTTPS certificates, no? Your public certificates, private certificates, all the certificates will be created there. Okay, and third one. Okay. Super. Very nice. Okay, Nana. Sir, for online lab, whom to contact? That mentors are coming and shouting no all the time. They posted on the Google Classroom. Syed Hussein, please check it in Google Classroom. You have the details there. Okay, can you give the final CC for today, please? CC with smile online. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Good night.